What does God require of you? Have you ever really thought about that? You've lived your life like you've lived it. You've gone to church or you didn't. You've gone to school or you didn't. You go to work or you don't. But what does God require? In this world that we live in, there's so many different avenues that people have found to find spirituality and divinity at large. And here we are now trying to figure it out for ourselves. You know, when you were young, you followed after your mom or your dad, or you followed after your aunt or your uncle. Maybe you followed after your grandma or your grandpa, and you may have found yourself in somebody's church listening to a preacher. You may have found yourself in someone's temple listening to a rabbi or a priest. You may have found yourself in a cult listening to a man or a woman lead people down a path that was not good. Wherever you find yourself now in today's situation or in today's iteration of yourself, you literally have to ask yourself the question, what do I believe about the higher power that everyone is calling God? Some of you may not believe in God. Some of you may believe that there is no God. Some of you may believe that God started everything and then stepped out and left you to your own devices. Regardless of where you find yourself along this spectrum, internally, there has to be a coming to some sort of understanding of who I think I am in relationship to number one, everyone around me, whether that's past, present, or future, and my responsibility to life as a whole in regards to what is my purpose, what is my reason for being, why am I here? And you have to understand and come to an understanding and find some sort of perspective on what should I do now. And so I would encourage you to take some time to really think on these things, you know, to really consider what it is that you are here for, to consider what it is that you have been created, you know, for. For me, you know, I think that, you know, there is a power that is higher than I believe. I don't believe that it's the universe, but I believe it is someone greater than the universe, someone who is higher than the universe. You know, when we talk about manifestation and manifesting things, I do believe that there is a way that seems right, but I have a name for the person that I'm reaching out to try to create and establish things in my world. I believe in a higher power. I believe in a higher power who has a son who established and created all the things that we do see and is still in the process of helping me to create a life that I will be proud of to live in harmony with him and his father. I do believe that, you know, we as quote unquote believers in Jesus have done a disservice to other individuals' understanding of who God is. I believe that we have dropped the ball. I believe that a lot of the stuff that's happening in our world today wouldn't be considered Christianity. It would just be considered a form of Christianity. And I think that we really, really kind of like messed up to the nth degree. But in the midst of all of that, I do believe there's still a God who has a son who is able to reach down into your existence and lift you up to a place where you never thought you would be. And I would advise you, if you don't know who God is, and if you're interested in learning who God is, what makes the Son of God unique is the fact that he has a very specific claim. He claims that every other God is going to bow down and serve him. And so I would start with the one who champions that mentality. I'm going to force every other being that claims to be divine to bow down before me. It's just that simple. That's why I serve Jesus.